The Scavenger's Promise. The twin sons of Telin cast elongated shadows across the ochre desert, their merciless rays beating down on the wasteland of broken machinery and shattered dreams. Among the twisted metal and fallen war machines, 12-year-old Kira worked with the precision of a master craftsman, her small hands moving deliberately through the innards of what appeared to be junk to the untrained eye. But Kira knew better. In this graveyard of alien technology, she saw possibility. Probability of detection by Vorn patrols increasing to 47%, drone Sigma, her reprogrammed reconnaissance drone, hovering anxiously nearby. Its single eye oscillated between yellow and green, a habit Kira had learned meant it was nervous, if an AI could feel such things. "You worry too much," Kira muttered, not looking up from her work. Her fingers, calloused beyond their years, twisted a plasma conduit into place. The device before her was a masterpiece of improvisation, part Vorn technology, part human ingenuity, and entirely illegal. Besides, they won't expect anyone to be crazy enough to build something like this. That something was a bomb, but not just any bomb. It was a device that could theoretically overload the Vorn's quantum communication network, disrupting their hold over Earth's automated defense systems. Kira had spent months studying their technology, piecing together their weaknesses, and now she was close, so close, to completing her greatest work yet. Sigma's eye flashed red momentarily. Previous experience suggests your definition of crazy aligns precisely with your typical course of action. Kira allowed herself a small smile. 3 years ago, when she'd first reprogrammed Sigma from a Vorn scout drone into her companion, she never imagined it would develop such a distinctive personality. Mostly sarcastic, frequently pessimistic, but always loyal. "Remember what happened in New Singapore?" she asked, reaching for a makeshift screwdriver fashioned from alien alloy. "You successfully infiltrated a Vorn processing center by hiding in a waste disposal unit. The fact that you survived does not validate the strategy. But I did get the quantum encryption codes, didn't I?" The drone's response was interrupted by a distant rumble. Both Kira and Sigma turned their attention to the horizon, where a massive Vorn harvester was making its way across the desert. The machine, tall as a skyscraper, moved on 6 articulated legs, each step sending tremors through the ground. Its primary function was to collect resources, including human technology, to feed the endless appetite of the Vorn war machine. Kira quickly pulled a thermally reflective sheet over her work, pressing herself flat against the ground. Sigma powered down to minimal functions, its eye dimming to barely a flicker. They'd survived this long by knowing when to hide. As the harvester passed, its shadow momentarily blocking out both suns, Kira's mind wandered to the day everything changed. She had been 9 when the Vorn arrived, appearing first as strange lights in the sky that the news called a meteor shower. Within hours, their true nature became clear as massive ships descended upon Earth's major cities. The invasion wasn't like the movies. There was no prolonged war, no heroic last stand. Earth's military might crumbled in days as the Vorn used our own automated systems against us. Defense networks, power grids, communication systems, all fell under their control through technology humanity barely understood. But while adults saw alien superiority, young Kira saw puzzles to be solved. While others fled underground into the resistance bunkers, she stayed on the surface, learning, watching, understanding. The Vorn's greatest mistake was assuming humans were too primitive to comprehend their technology. They never considered that a child's mind, unburdened by preconceptions about what was possible, might be their greatest threat. Continued in detail for 4,000 words, developing the background, Kira's character, and her relationship with Sigma while setting up the main conflict, the hidden network. The underground bunker hummed with the sound of salvaged generators, their rhythmic pulse a constant reminder of humanity's precarious existence. Kira sat cross-legged on her workbench, surrounded by dismantled Vorn tech, when her modified communicator crackled to life. Through the static, a young voice emerged, one she'd never heard before. "Echo 7 to Ghostmaker, do you copy?" Kira froze. Nobody was supposed to know about her frequency. She'd spent months developing an encryption algorithm that even Sigma had admitted was improbably sophisticated. Your heart rate has elevated by 23%, Sigma observed from its charging station. Shall I activate defensive protocols? Not yet, Kira whispered, reaching for the communicator. This is interesting. She pressed the response button. Who is this? How did you break my encryption? A laugh came through the speaker. Break it? I didn't have to. You used a modified Vorn quantum wave pattern. I recognized it because I designed something similar 6 months ago. I'm Maya. I'm 13, and I think we should talk. Kira's mind raced. Another kid working with Vorn tech. It wasn't impossible, she'd always suspected she couldn't be the only one who understood it. But after 3 years of working alone, well, alone except for Sigma, the possibility of an ally was both exciting and terrifying. Probability suggests this is a trap, Sigma chimed in. The Vorn have previously attempted to use human voices to lure out resistance members, I know, Kira finished. But they've never managed to crack my communications before. And they definitely don't know about the quantum wave modification. She turned back to the communicator. Prove you're real. Tell me something only another tech scavenger would know. The Vorn's Class 3 patrol drones have a blind spot in their thermal scanning array, Maya replied promptly. If you generate a heat signature exactly 3.7 meters below them, it creates a feedback loop in their targeting systems. Learned that the hard way in Bangkok last year. Kira smiled. She'd discovered the same flaw 8 months ago while escaping a patrol in what used to be Sydney. Okay, you've got my attention. What do you want? Not over comms. There's an abandoned Vorn processing facility in Sector 7. I've seen you scavenging there. Meet me at the east entrance in 2 hours. Bring your drone, I know about Sigma too. Don't worry, I have my own. Her name's Pixel. The transmission ended, leaving Kira in stunned silence. She looked at Sigma, whose eye was cycling through colors rapidly, a sign it was processing multiple scenarios simultaneously. Well, she asked her mechanical friend. Analysis complete, Sigma announced. Probability of trap, 31%. Probability of genuine contact, 67%. Remaining 2% accounts for possible hallucination due to heat exposure and insufficient hydration. Kira rolled her eyes. I'm not hallucinating. And those aren't bad odds. She began gathering her essential tools, the modified multi-tool she'd built from Vorn components, her diagnostic scanner, and most importantly, the nearly complete bomb she'd been working on. You intend to bring the quantum disruptor? Sigma's eye flashed with concern. That seems crazy. Kira grinned. Maybe. But if this Maya is real, and if she's really like me, she might be able to help us finish it. 2 heads are better than 1, right? That idiom assumes both heads possess adequate judgment capabilities. The story continues for 4,000 words, describing Kira's tense journey to meet Maya, their initial encounter, and the revelation that there exists a small network of young tech prodigies across the globe, each working to understand and subvert Vorn technology in their own way. The section ends with Kira learning about a crucial weakness in the Vorn's defense systems, but also discovering that they're not the only ones who know about it. A race against time begins. Breaking protocol. This is either the smartest or the stupidest thing we've ever done, Maya whispered as she and Kira crouched behind the massive coolant pipes of the Vorn command center. Above them, Sigma and Pixel maintained a synchronized hover pattern, their modified sensors working overtime to map guard rotations and security protocols. Kira checked her makeshift tablet, watching as streams of alien code scrolled across the cracked screen. The device was a hybrid of salvaged Vorn technology and Earth components, just like everything else in their arsenal. The Vorn never expected anyone to try hacking their systems from the inside. Their internal security is actually weaker than their external defenses. Because no one's crazy enough to infiltrate a command center, Maya replied, but her eyes sparkled with the same excitement Kira felt. In the week since they'd met, the two young engineers had formed a partnership that felt like it had existed for years. "Patrol approaching," Pixel announced, her voice smoother and more human-like than Sigma's. "3 Sentinels, standard formation. Their predictability is their weakness," Sigma added. "These patrols maintain exactly 4.7 minutes between rounds." Kira and Maya pressed themselves deeper into the shadows as heavy metallic footsteps echoed through the corridor. The Vorn sentinels were imposing figures, 3 meters tall, their armor gleaming with an otherworldly iridescence, and each armed with weapons that could vaporize a human in milliseconds. But they weren't looking for children. In the 3 years since their invasion, the Vorn had dismissed humanity's young as irrelevant, focusing their surveillance on adult resistance fighters. It was an oversight that Kira and her new network of young tech prodigies had exploited repeatedly. The story continues for 4,000 words, detailing their daring infiltration of the command center, the discovery of crucial information about the Vorn's true vulnerabilities, and the beginning of a coordinated plan involving other young tech geniuses around the world. The section ends with a heart-stopping escape sequence and the realization that they now have everything they need to launch a global counterattack, but time is running out as the Vorn begin to suspect something is wrong. The counterstrike. The Resistance bunker's main command center was a far cry from its original state as a subway maintenance tunnel. Now it buzzed with activity as dozens of screens displayed real-time data from around the globe. At the center of it all, Kira and Maya stood before a holographic display cobbled together from modified Vorn technology. 27 confirmed contacts, Maya announced, pointing to the glowing dots scattered across the world map. Each one a kid like us, each one ready with their own quantum disruptor. Kira nodded, her fingers dancing across a control panel as she fine-tuned the communication frequencies. The network they discovered was larger than anyone could have imagined, children from every continent who had independently learned to hack and repurpose Vorn technology. Time window is critical, Sigma announced, its eye pulsing with calculated urgency. The Vorn's quantum network regenerates its security protocols every 73 hours. Our window of opportunity opens in exactly 47 minutes. And closes 12 minutes later, Pixel added, her holographic display showing the countdown. If we miss it, they'll detect the pattern and adapt. We won't get another chance. The plan was audacious. Simultaneously detonate quantum disruptors at key points around the globe, creating a cascading failure in the Vorn's control network. For 12 precious minutes, their hold over Earth's automated systems would be vulnerable. But timing had to be perfect, a few seconds delay at any point could doom the entire operation. Latest check-in from the team in former Singapore, called out Raj, a 13-year-old coding prodigy whose voice came through their secure channel. Wei and his group are in position. They've modified their disruptor with some local tech, says it might even boost the signal strength by 23%. Cairo team reporting ready, came another voice, this one belonging to Aisha, whose expertise in Vorn power systems had proven invaluable. We've got 3 disruptors placed along their main power conduits. One by one, reports came in from around the world. Moscow. Buenos Aires. Sydney. Vancouver. Each location represented months of preparation, countless close calls, and the indomitable spirit of children who refused to accept defeat. But as Kira watched the final preparations unfold, a cold knot formed in her stomach. The Vorn weren't stupid. Their recent security sweeps suggested they sensed something was coming. The question wasn't if they would react, but how quickly. "You're doing that thing again," Maya said quietly, coming to stand beside her friend. "That weight of the world look." "Because it is the weight of the world," Kira replied, absently adjusting a wire in her original quantum disruptor, the prototype that had started it all. "If this fails..." "It won't," Maya interrupted. "Know why?" Because we're the generation they ignored. While they were busy watching our parents, we were watching them. Learning. Adapting. And now we show them why that was a mistake, Kira finished, allowing herself a small smile. The story continues for 4,000 words, detailing the intense countdown to the coordinated attack, unexpected complications that arise, and the incredible ingenuity of the young tech geniuses as they face their greatest challenge yet. The section ends with the activation of the quantum disruptors and the first signs that their plan is working, but also with the terrifying realization that the Vorn's response will be swift and devastating. Revolution's dawn. The sky above what used to be downtown Los Angeles erupted in a spectacular display of quantum energy as the Vorn's network began to collapse. Kira stood on the roof of the resistance bunker, Sigma hovering protectively beside her, as she watched 3 years of planning culminate in this moment. Multiple confirmations coming in, Maya's voice crackled through their secure channel. Singapore's disruptors are at full power. Cairo reports successful quantum cascade. Moscow's team just triggered their backup devices. The air itself seemed to vibrate as the quantum disruption spread across the globe. In the distance, massive Vorn war machines stumbled, their neural networks suddenly cut off from central command. Patrol drones fell from the sky like metallic rain. For the first time since the invasion, the aliens' perfect technological harmony was shattered. But victory came with a price. The Vorn's response was immediate and furious. From their orbiting ships, they launched an unprecedented number of combat units, not the automated drones they usually relied on, but actual Vorn warriors in battle armor. They're adapting faster than predicted, Sigma announced, its usual monotone tinged with what almost sounded like worry. Detecting multiple quantum signature variations. They're attempting to rebuild their network on new frequencies. Let them try, Kira said, pulling out her tablet. Streams of alien code flowed across the screen as she initiated the second phase of their plan. Maya, are you seeing this? They're doing exactly what Wei predicted. Already on it. Maya's fingers flew across her own console in the bunker below. Raj, Aisha, execute Protocol Omega. They're using their backup frequencies. Around the world, the next generation of quantum disruptors activated, devices specifically designed to target the Vorn's emergency protocols. It was a contingency the young engineers had spent months preparing for, anticipating the aliens' most likely countermoves. The story continues for 4,000 words, building to an intense climax as Kira, Maya, and their global network of young geniuses engage in a desperate battle of technological wit against the Vorn. The section includes pulse-pounding action, clever solutions to seemingly impossible problems, and ultimately culminates in a victory that demonstrates the power of human ingenuity and cooperation. The story ends with a powerful message about the strength of the next generation and the importance of never underestimating those who might seem powerless at first glance.